everybody, what is up? It's Ruby, and today I have a very different video for me, but I was requested to do this a while ago, and I was thinking about it and I was like, this sounds like a really good idea actually. Today I have a video talking about my favorite palettes. So I narrowed it down to 7 palettes, both face and eyeshadow palettes that I wanted to talk about that I just think are amazing for a multitude of reasons. We have a lot of different price ranges in this video, so I just thought why not, because I definitely do have a lot of palettes. I thought it would be interesting also to include some face palettes in this video because I know a lot of the top palette videos that I've seen online have mostly just included eyeshadow palettes. So in today's video I actually have 3 eyeshadow palettes and then 4 face palettes for you guys. These are just specifically the palettes that I find myself reaching for the most, and I think that the quality is there. I think that it can be used for like a multitude of skin tones and makeup looks. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get into the video and start talking about all the palettes. Okay, so I think I'm actually just gonna go into the eyeshadow palettes first, just because I have less of those. I'm gonna start with the most affordable out of the 3, and it's actually from Morphe. I feel like you cannot do one of these videos without including like your favorite Morphe palette. Mine specifically is the 35R palette. I picked mine up from Ricky's NYC, but you can also like order it on Morphe.com, and I believe Morphe is now sold on Ulta.com as well. Now, I love this palette for so many reasons, so let's just talk about them. The first of which is you get a perfect balance of matte and ultra shimmery colors in here. So the left side is pretty much all mattes except for this one shade right here, and then the right side is all super shimmery colors. Burnt eyeshadow looks have been really in recently, and I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon, so I really like this palette because you get a broad range of shades, and it's great for the fall and winter, but it's also great for doing like a super bronzy, very summer appropriate smoky eye. But if you're a person like me who really enjoys just a good grunge eye like what I'm wearing today, or a super bronzy smoky eye, this palette is definitely going to be right up your alley. My next palette is from a brand that I absolutely love, and I feel like they just do not get enough recognition on the internet, and that is Lorac. This is my Lorac Pro 3 palette. This is like my go-to traveling palette. If I am going on a trip, this is like one of the first palettes that I will grab and put in my makeup bag. Lorac is more of a high-end brand, but I promise you, with the price you are paying, you are getting amazing quality, so it's not like you're spending money on a product that just isn't useful and isn't up to par with like how it should be. So inside you get a mirror, which I think is really nice, and then you get all of these eyeshadows. The top row is strictly mattes and the bottom is all shimmer, and the mattes on top pretty much correspond with like a very similar like shimmery shade on the bottom. So I think it's perfect for traveling. It's perfect for doing like a multitude of looks because you're getting so many colors in here, and they also range from like cool to warm tone. It's mostly on the cool tone side, but I personally don't mind that because I have a lot of warm tone palettes, so this one was kind of a must for me when I bought it because I was like, I literally don't have like any cool tone palettes. These swatch like butter. Lorac is so good. I have, I want to say like 5 of their palettes, and they are absolutely incredible. One of my favorite high-end brands when it comes to eyeshadow, and I just cannot recommend this one enough. My last eyeshadow palette for this video is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. Now, I was a little bit on the fence about including this because I know that these colors are not up everyone's alley. However, I wanted to include a palette that wasn't so neutral, that had a lot of fun colors in it that I personally really enjoy, and for me, it's this palette hands down. I would say this palette is definitely more for the makeup junkie that knows what they are doing and probably already has a lot of neutral palettes. I would not recommend this to be like the first makeup palette that you buy because it just isn't versatile enough, but the finishes in here are definitely like super broad, and that's one of the reasons that I love this palette. This is what the palette looks like. It's so beautiful. You get a mirror in here that I'm trying to like flash down so that it doesn't blind you guys, and then you get so many finishes of eyeshadows that I cannot even express like how amazing this is to work with. What's cool about this palette too is you also get a pressed glitter, which I don't think I've ever seen a palette include before, and it's an amazing glitter. The formula is actually really nice. I think that this palette is beautiful, specifically for the summertime. It's funny because I actually bought this in the fall, but I think that it's going to be really pretty in the spring and summer. You have a lot of duochrome eyeshadows in here, so this is a very on-trend palette, I like to say. Okay, moving on to face palettes, I'm gonna start with, I think, what is the least expensive one in the bunch. Yes, it is. This is the Makeup Revolution blush palette in the color Hot Spice. When it comes to blushes, I know that everybody has their personal preference, so this palette definitely isn't for everybody, but I just love it. I really love my mauve tone pinks, my neutral peaches, anything with like a neutral undertone to it, I just really, really love. I'm not a fan of super, super bright blushes. I'm not wearing a super bright blush today. So this palette just totally spoke to me and I took it home immediately. So in here, you get 8 super big pans of blushes that range from a bit more pinky to a bit more peach, which is what I really like about them. And then you get these 2 really cool kind of like baked blushes slash highlighters. You can also use them as a blush topper. These 2 especially give a very nice luminosity to the skin, so in the summertime it's lovely. Then the rest of the blushes, except for this like peachy one right here, are matte. So you do get 3 different finishes, which I really like, so I think it's a really good value, but I'm a fan of kind of keeping my blushes usually matte, and because of that, I really, really like this palette. This next palette, I just cannot get enough of. This is the Stellar Face Sculptor palette in the color Nebula. This is like the perfect warm tone little trio palette. In here you get a warm tone bronzer and 2 ultra metallic highlighters. I don't think I've really talked about this a lot, but Stellar has one of my favorite highlighter formulas. I'm actually wearing one of their colors today. I don't know if it's picking it up very well, but I absolutely love this palette. This one's a little bit more of an investment. It is pretty expensive for only getting 3 shades in here. However, the quality is just there, and I can't say enough about it. We have another little highlighting palette here, but this one's actually great and it's pretty affordable. This is the Smashbox Photo Strip highlighting palette. So in here you get 5 different highlighters that range from a very like pearlescent white to more of like a reddish peach tone. I like this because I think it's one of the most versatile highlighting palettes that I have seen on the market. It's also one of the most wearable palettes I've seen on the market because I find that, you know, obviously like every brand has very, very wearable highlighters, but when it comes to palettes, they like to throw like the craziest colors into a palette, which doesn't make it super wearable for like everyday wear. And if you're not a makeup artist and you're not a makeup junkie and you just want like something simple and standard, that can kind of be hard to find in a palette. And I want to say this was only like $25 when I bought this, so that's honestly not a bad deal for 5 highlighters. And finally, I feel like I cannot talk about a face palette without mentioning something from Becca. So my last palette in today's video is the Becca and Chrissy Teigen collaboration palette. First of all, let's look at this packaging. It's pink, it's marbleized, it's rose gold. What else do I need to say? I know that this palette really got some mixed reviews when it first came out, but I wanted it so bad, and so I just bit the bullet and I kind of treated myself, and I just adore this palette. So in here you get 2 highlighters, you get a really pretty pinky blush, and then you get a really nice kind of cool toned matte bronzer. I love this palette so much because I feel like you can use it for everyday wear, and then if you wear this wet, oh my gosh, these highlighters are so reflective and it looks so good. This one is really nice for a very glowy, luminous makeup look. Becca can do no wrong with their highlighters. They also have one of my favorite formulas. It's like Becca and Stellar, like they are just killing it. I really do love this palette. I think they did a really good job with it, and quite frankly, I've used this on a lot of different skin tones, and like if you just ignore the bronzer, the highlighters and the blush can actually be used on a lot of different skin tones. That, you guys, completes my top palette video. I really hope that you all did enjoy this. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up to let me know that you would like to see more of me on this channel. Please subscribe and help me grow the Ruby Rocks the World family. It would mean the world to me. Follow me on all my social media networks. Links are always in the down bar below. I hope that you guys are having an awesome day, night, afternoon, whenever you all are watching this video, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Okay? Bye, everybody!